Warning.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
The following podcast features terrible jokes.
You know you can use Hot Wheels cars when you need to make a saving throw in D&D? Every car is die-cast.
Usually about board games.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
We had less technical issues than $1 million company.
All right!
This is Boards and Swords.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast where we have bad jokes, good folks, and some tabletop games as well. I'm going to flip it over to the screen here and say hello to my co-host, Mr. Philip Herbig.
What's going on, everybody?
We got a little bit of a crazy show tonight. We had a guest, and our next couple of guests have been a little random. So this show and next show is going to be a little off the cuff. That's the word. That's the saying. So I've babbled enough here. Let's just go straight into some news.
News.
All right, press the right one. Hey, Philip.
Hey, Chris.
If I own a ship and I lose a bunch of staff and have to get more people, are those new people considered recruits? So, Warhammer 40K has announced that Games Workshop's announced that they are having a Space Marine Recruit Edition, Space Marine 2 Recruit Edition box set. You would think they would announce this to release with the game, but is what it is. Games Workshop's releasing a new product for fans of Space Marine 2's Lieutenant Demetrian Titus. It's Space Marine 2 Recruit Edition. A new board game is coming to Warhammer stores starting Saturday, the 28th of September. These stories are going to be a little bit old, so this is already out. It's been dubbed Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 Recruit Edition. It's got 12 miniatures and its own rules for a 2-player game. Oh, and a Lieutenant Titus Marine. So yeah, you got your 12 figure, or no, it's 11 Tyranids, and then your Lieutenant Titus also comes with a couple of paints. Everything you need, tokens. It's even got some snips. We were talking about snips in our bonus bits episode. So yeah, you get your Titus. You get also Macragge Blue, Abaddon Black, Wraithbone, Nagaroth Knight, and Balthasar Gold, which is not the best gold that they have. It lasts around 30 minutes and pits the lone Lieutenant Titus against a Tyranid Sworn. And is this sounding too familiar? Yeah. So the reason is, if you look back here, hold on, let me flip to the main screen here. They already came out with a Space Marine board game. They came out with it last year. And I even remember at the time being like, this is really early. Why did the game's not out yet? But there's big differences. So based on what I saw online, I this could have changed, but the one in this article, the Recruit Edition, which by the way, both of these games use 10th edition rules, so it is a starter set to get you into 10th edition. However, this box retailed for $40. The Recruit Edition retails for $60. Now, granted, you also have the paints and the stuff in there. However, remember how I said there was only 12? There was 12 figures in there. Guess how many figures come in this box?
23.
23. Yeah, so you get double the amount of Tyranids for less money. And even funnier is because the game has been out for a year, and because it didn't have the hype with the movie or with the video game coming out, a lot of Target stores are clearancing these things. So you can get these for $20 if you search at your local Target. Some of these have been going on sale for $20. So, and it does have 0 terrain, but that's beside the point. I mean, let's be honest. That Titus figure alone is $35. All of the Warhammer characters are $35. So, if you want to like, the Recruit Edition is still a deal. Like, getting the 12 Termagants, those are probably, or the 11 in the Ripper Swarm. That's like $40 probably itself. The Titus figure would be retail for like $35. It would be like another $10 for the brush and the snips. Each one of those paints, I want to say, is $5 to $6. Like, this is a deal. It's just funny that it's not as good of a deal as a product they put out last year as a Target exclusive.
2 Ripper Swarms.
2 Ripper Swarms. Yeah, I'm almost done. It sucks with there being 20. It's just really like, and I've been going into super big detail on them. It's just really held up like my painting, where it's like I had all this stuff put together, and it's like, and I had like all that BattleTech stuff, and just dead stop as I get through these 20, and they're just so. It's not like painting a mech where it's open all around. It needs to paint. There's a lot of like underbellies and stuff. It's horrible. But all right. Moving on. Did you know that there are pirates in Lord of the Rings? Yeah, they call this kind of sub-genre of stories J.R.R. token. So they've come out with a new Middle-earth game. Surprise, surprise. That's no big surprise at all. But it's the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game. So following Gen Con...
Little hobbitses.
I couldn't name a number 2 title. Okay, here we go. Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game is a design by Brian Bormuller, the creative sourcing manager for the Asmodee studio Office Dog. It allows you and up to 3 other players to experience J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring firsthand. This cooperative trick-taking game consists of 18 chapters that can be repeatedly played independently or in sequence from Chapter 1, A Long Expected Party, to whatever Chapter 18 happens to be. I don't know the name of that chapter because I haven't opened yet that section of the game. Okay, so yeah, it's a trick-taking. I guess there's a couple of these, like The Crew was a big one, but it's just a weird mix-up of genres there. Trick-taking game for Lord of the Rings. Like, whenever I think of a trick-taking game, Lord of the Rings is not what I'm thinking of. When I'm thinking of Lord of the Rings, the last thing I'm thinking of is a trick-taking game. Like, yes, you could do it. I understand the concepts here, but that's just really weird. Your character determines your challenge. The character often comes with setup details, of course. Frodo must have the ring. Gandalf takes the Lost card because he starts with more knowledge than anybody else. Gandalf and Pippin exchange cards with Frodo, giving him a card, then receiving something in return because they're trying to prepare him for the task ahead. Then you do your standard trick-taking stuff, and you're trying to, like, yeah. So you're trying to meet a specific goal, et cetera, et cetera. Just slap chop them and then sneeze on them. Boom, you're done. To get the snot effect. So yeah, I'm sure this will probably be cheap because it's not a lot of components. I'm just scrolling to see if there is a... Oh, these are just pictures. I was trying to see if there was a... be released in 15 languages in January 2025. With an English language pre-release taking place at PAX Unplugged 2024. Hey, we're going to that.
Hey, we'll be able to.
Both of us, by the way, will be going to PAX Unplugged this year.
Boards and swords.
Boards and the swords.
Boards and the swords going to be at PAX Unplugged.
Hell yeah.
Business cards made again.
This next card game that we're going to talk about has a lot of content to base it off of. Will be flooded with cards when they break the gun. Damn. So I have an article in the show notes, but Philip showed me that, like, hey, it says we're going to talk about more on October 3rd, and it's past October 3rd, so there's the actual article to talk about. So I haven't even seen this yet. Bandai unveils Gundam TCG Edition Beta, which is funny because this is not the first time that they've made a Gundam TCG. But I also found it funny that the timing was like right after the bonus bits where we were talking about Gundam all the time. Mm-hmm. So Bandai unveiled Gundam TCG Edition Beta, a new TCG box set, which will I think Edition Beta is the box set, not the name of the TCG. Launching a box set that includes everything fans need to play out their first battles in the new card game. The anime featured on the cards in this set are Mobile Suit Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, and Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury. So I recognize all these but Witch from Mercury. The Edition Beta box includes 16 booster packs, a 56-card fixed set, a legend rare card, 2 play sheets, and 6 dice damage counters. Oh, I'm thinking like Pokemon. They have like little dice that they say like 10, 20 instead of 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
These edition boxes will be available at Bandai Card Games Fest through participating Bandai TCG Plus stores and on Premium Bandai USA. Bandai TCG Plus stores will be able to run Edition Beta trial events starting in February 2025, where you'll be able to purchase Edition Beta and get a promo item. The boxes will retail for $69.99 each. Let's see some of these images. Oh, there we got your original. What's that? RX-70.
RX-78
Yeah, RX-78-2. And then it's got the pilot down here. It's even got like White Base Team, Earth Federation, Amuro Ray. We got Gundam Wing and your Strike Gundam. So yeah, everybody's out to play. I like the art. And you got your pilot, Hiro Yui, Kiro Yamada. Seed is funny because it always has the like when they're launching them, they're there's always like a saying where they'll be like, Kiro Yamada, I'm taking off, and like they'll launch.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be like sometimes it's like really funny, like, I'm out of here. Question is, does it include articulated butt flap? That just reminds me of Iron Man. If you watch the scene where like it does when he's in the first Iron Man movie.
Oh, and he's testing the control surfaces?
And he's testing the control surfaces, and there's a little like right where your coccyx is, there's a little flap there that moves up and down. And I'm like, what is that
the
controlling?
Whole spine has it, yeah.
That's just what that reminds me of. All right, what else we got here? Here's your Amuro Ray. Choose one enemy unit with 5 or less HP. Rested. Uh-oh. The Witch and the Bride.
Yeah,
That's got to be Witch from Mercury, I'm assuming. All right, I want this. Hiro Yui. I want this, Philip. I don't need another CCG. That's a very dumb-looking box, though, I will say.
Well, it's beta.
Yeah. We didn't play test the box.
There you
That's
go.
where you plug in the display stand. Oh, for like the models.
Yeah.
I get it now. But Philip, I feel like we're gonna have to get this and play it.
That was too much math in my head.
What's that? Oops.
What was that? 57? 56.
For what?
Okay, so that's 200 cards.
Yeah. It's
Well,
a decent.
201.
It's a decent amount of cards.
Yeah, for $70, that's pretty good. Looks like Sam is in the chat now.
Hey,
Hey, sorry about that.
it's all good. We were just still. We were in the middle of our. We were in the middle of our just news segment.
Okay, good.
Do you have video, or if not, that's fine.
I'm not on Discord here. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I've got plenty of pictures and stuff to throw up. So yeah, we just got like 2 more stories, and then I was around this part where we'd be talking Eldritch Foundry. So
Sounds good.
feel free to either mute me so you don't hear my bad jokes, or jump in with any comments on the articles we have left.
No worries. All right.
Comments, groans, heckles, whatever.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. Hey, Philip, there are many different types of animations, but the Transformers series is one of the few that is a true cartoon. The D&D cartoon characters star in the first 5/5, which I'm loving that's catching on. 5/5 First Adventure, Uni and the Hunt for the Lost Horn. Hey, fun fact, I actually didn't close those tabs because I was like on the off chance that it that
You just move them to their own separate window.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're fine.
So, Uni and the Hunt for the Lost Horn might as well be the first might be the first official adventure to use the 5/5 rule set, and to be yours on D&D Beyond. It's a free WPN store adventure, and it also is available on D&D Beyond. If you go claim your copy, then you too can adventure with the characters from the D&D cartoon on a quest to save Uni the Unicorn from the foul sorcerer Kellic. It's a short one-shot adventure, but if you're wondering how the new rule set works and you want a teaser of more 5/5 stat blocks, this is your chance to peek into the future, at least a little. Also, you'll find character sheets for the cartoon characters, which is always a fun time. I never actually saw the D&D cartoon, other than like the memes of it, where like people dub it over with other stuff.
Oh yeah, that's what I've seen. Yeah, you're right. And we saw them in the live action.
So fun part is this is actually, it sounds like this is a canonical follow-up to the story of the series, where they Narnia 'em back, where the characters, they're no longer children, they're all grown up. So each one's level 4. So they're like drawn, after returning to their homeworld and growing up into full adults, the characters have been reunited and drawn back into the realm of Dungeons and Dragons. So Uni and the Hunt for the Lost Horn is designed for 4 to 6 level 4 characters. It is meant to be played in a single session. Claim this adventure now to unlock it for use with D&D Beyond. That Venn diagram overlap, Rusty Beetle says, of D&D cartoon fans and D&D Beyond fans is very small. D&D cartoon was one of the main reasons I woke up early on Saturday. For me, it was Battletech. Watching the 90s Battletech cartoon.
Power Rangers.
That was weekdays.
There was also, the finales always happened on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Like when Green Ranger popped up, Tuesday through Friday, he beat the hell out of the Power Rangers, and then on Saturday, boom, he became part of the team.
All right, and then one last story here. I came up with a new hat that displayed custom messages, but I funded it by displaying commercials. Too bad I got sent an advisory. So this is some stuff here. Magic the Gathering fans launched petition to fire Commander Rules Committee. Like, some stuff's gone down. Fans have taken their outrage over the recent Commander bans to the next level by creating 2 different petitions, one to fire the Commander Rules Committee and one to reverse the recent ban. Yeah, so there was a bunch of bans for Commander, which is crazy because it's supposed to be like a casual, non-tournament format that they put bans in. So
casual and non-tournament does not equal ban.
Yeah.
That does not go together.
And the only reason I knew about this is a bunch of people making fun of it on TikTok, where they took Mana Crypt and Sharpied out, so it was just cry. The card was just crying. It was like tap 2, cry. Since announcing that those 3 once valuable cards have been banned in Commander EDH games, the CRC has been under fire on social media for nonstop on every group, website, and thread. Why is this atrocity? Thousands of customers and players have lost thousands of dollars. You spent it on Magic cards, so it was already lost. EDH is an internal format, meaning it has access to all the cards throughout the history of MTG. I still think the Power 9 aren't allowed in EDH, so I don't know about that. These changes only serve casual players. Well, it's a casual format. They've kept Sol Ring because it defines the format, yet banned Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus, cards that literally define CEDH. I think that's supposed to be competitive, which I think you're forgetting forgetting why Commander is a thing. Dockside Extortionist is a big part of what made Red completely viable. Okay. I feel like Fireball is what made... literally made for Commander. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Is Jeweled Lotus specifically talks about targeting other commanders and other players. So you, like, couldn't even use it in any other format, really.
That, and when I was reading this article, I was like, that would be my reason
Yeah.
to hate. Like, the Wizards made a card specifically for this format, and you're saying, no, you can't use this card in the format it was made. Get out of here.
Yeah. So then this came out, and then there was another story where the popular Magic the Gathering Commander Advisory Group community leader resigns. So the Commander Advisory Group are a bunch of community leaders that assist the Rules Committee by offering their perspectives on the format. And this is like Josh Lee Kwai, the CEO of the Command Zone podcast. Like, this is probably like the most popular Magic podcast like out there. Kwai's resignation statement was made public via his X account. In a statement, he said he felt privileged to provide input about the format, wished nothing but the best. However, in a previous post, he states, "I don't like the bans. I think it's a bad call. If you've watched our content over the years, I'm sure that doesn't surprise you. Thus, it's reasonable to surmise that his input was likely contrary to their final decision to ban those cards." So yeah. So like, and then it's not in here, but I saw another article that talked about that Wizard, or there was somebody, I think it was Hasbro or Wizards, didn't even want them to do the bans, and they still put it out anyways. Yeah, WotC's now in control. The entire committee resigned for safety reasons. That does not surprise me because Magic people be crazy.
I saw that one. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I can understand being mad.
Yeah.
About something, but I mean, I haven't heard anything yet about like doxing or anything.
It's a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna say for our Patreon plug here that we would appreciate if you go to patreon.com/boardsandSwords, toss us $1. You get access to special channels on the Discord, our bonus bits podcast, and also the couple other things we're working on. We were talking about in the pre-show how we might need to have an anime night because people keep sending us recommendations considering we've been doing a bunch of anime talking in our bonus bits. So, but you won't find out about that unless you go back our Patreon. And with that, we're going to talk to Sam, who's on the line here from Eldritch Foundry. How are you doing today? Oh, there we go.
There we go. Got microphone to work too now. Okay.
Right.
Hey there. Good to talk to you guys.
So, what is your role at Eldritch? And actually, just give us a pitch real quick for those that I've talked about it familiar on the show, but in case it's your first time and you're not familiar with what Eldritch Foundry is.
Company that produces custom miniatures for wargamers, RPG players, hobbyists, etc. Our closest comparison is, of course, our competitor Hero Forge, but we offer something different with our service in terms of different types of assets for our miniatures that you can customize and build, a lot of different varieties of things, a slightly different visual style and proportions. And we just empower players to create everything they could possibly want with their miniatures in custom formats, either 3D printing them at home or having them 3D printed professionally and delivered to their door.
Yeah,
I am the head of sales and marketing for that company. And we're here to talk to you guys today.
Yeah, so I've actually had the what's the right word? The privilege. There we go. The privilege of I've gotten the STL files, and I've actually gotten a print sent. I've seen what the printed versions. And granted, this was early COVID, so I imagine it's probably even better than the printing's probably even better than what it was then. So and even then, it was still very nice, and you don't have to worry about it. Because that was one of my big concerns when I heard about, like, oh, it's going to get shipped to you. I was like, there's the chance, like, those miniatures are fragile. But that comes, at least when I got mine, it was in a metal tin, completely packed with foam. So there's no chance of that mini breaking anywhere, or at least as much as you can control it.
Yeah, I mean, shipping is always what it is, but yeah, we pack our minis really tightly in foam and bubble wrap. We ship them overseas from our plant overseas, and they generally, like 90% of the time, they arrive intact and perfectly fine. But we also offer, like, replacements if anything arrives damaged or anything like that.
And also, so yeah, they just said that you guys have a printing company, like, or is it? You said it was overseas. Is it still owned by y'all, or is it is it outsourced to a different?
We partner with a producer who does all of the 3D printing farm aspect of things for us. So we've managed to maintain, like, a really high quality through them. We have a proprietary resin format that we use for our printing. So the resin that we use is different than, like, anything you get for, like, your printed home resin. And we, I guess our partners are moving to a facility here in the U.S., so shipping times are actually going to be cut down pretty significantly.
Nice.
Starting in the next month or so.
Awesome. Yeah, they had a really cool service. They had at Gen Con where you could go to their booth and, just go on their website and make the mini, and then, like, the next day they would have it for you.
Oh, have it at the booth. Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was this year at Gen Con. That was one of my ideas for the company. We started doing overnight 3D printing. We would have people, place orders by, like, a deadline during the day, and then they could pick it up first thing the next day at the con. And people were really happy and thrilled with that. I thought it was a really good. It was really well received.
How popular was that?
Really good. I mean, we got probably 30 or 40 orders every day. A lot of people were into that. A lot of people were also into, like, the random minis that we were selling at the booth.
Oh yeah.
As well as some of, like, the swag, like pins and hats and stuff that we were selling. And of course, the big deal that everyone was talking about at our booth was the color minis, which is our upcoming Kickstarter, which we were showing off and previewing there.
Yeah. And that was the main reason to have you on. We're gonna focus on that for a little bit. Yeah, I will say that I've been using Eldritch Foundry for a while now for any time that we have a D&D game come up. And yeah, we've been playing Star Wars recently, so that we already had, we just use, like, the Legion minis for those because the Clone Trooper all exists. But the past couple of D&D games, anytime I go on Eldritch Foundry and design my mini, and then I'll just do the STL because our friend Chris has a resin printer, and just have him print it. The minis that we had at the Dirtbags Invitational, those were all we had like a D&D getaway, and I just sent the guys the link to Eldritch Foundry that was like, make your character and send me the link. And I bought the STL files, and then again had the same guy print them out. And so then, like, when everybody showed up, their mini was there waiting for them. And it was funny because one of the guys even designed his guy to be a little bit more militaristic, so that he could use it in his Warhammer army as, like, a commander for his guard army.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought was really funny. So yeah, I personally I've always found that I like the aesthetic of Eldritch Foundry. The design you were talking about, there was a little bit of a different design compared to, like, Hero Forge. I kind of like it. Also, I like the UI because it's a little bit more mobile and, like, tablet friendly than, like, Hero Forge, and so I've always appreciated that. So, Rusted Beetle asks, what were y'all using at Gen Con for printing the minis?
We actually partnered with a local print farm in Indianapolis who managed to do a really quick turnaround on prints for us.
Gotcha. Okay, but yeah, now the next step forward is color. So now that you're going to put your painters out of business.
Well, hopefully not. But we're launching a Kickstarter currently planned for around the end of this month to bring color to our 3D printing process. So it's going to be a full color engine on our creation tool that lets you like digitally paint your miniature in every conceivable way, from like, you know, basic area fill stuff to like outright brush techniques like dry brushing, stippling, washing, that sort of thing. So you can mimic painting digitally. There's going to be a whole lot of different features that let you get just super nitty gritty and into the finest details you want on your miniature. And then our new PolyJet 3D printing process allows us to print that in a nearly one-for-one representation of the designed colored miniature digitally. So it just has some really great results that it yields, and we're really excited for people to get their hands on it. And we think it's going to be a really big hit for the industry and for what we do.
Nice. Yeah, I was just showing off there. You sent me a couple of videos that's kind of got showing, like, you know, it's playing, and actually I could probably slow this down, but it's showing off kind of the engine here where, you know, you've got so much granularity and being able to print everything. We're talking like this just, I mean, that's fascinating alone, just the being able to print, like, color different tiles on the base.
Oh, yeah.
Is amazing.
Yeah, some similar tools out there or our competitors are basically like sort of, you know, point and click, like area fill. Okay, the skin's going to be one color, the hat's going to be one color, the armor's going to be one color, you know. But we wanted it to be just completely within the control of the person, you know, fiddling with the tool. So we wanted it to be as granular and detailed as you would be if you were picking up a brush and painting yourself with a physical miniature.
Which is why you needed to go the Kickstarter route, because not only is there the technical, or there's the logistical piece of like the printing part, but then there's the technical part behind it of, you know, getting the programming in to do that coloring.
Yeah, building the engine is it's a big undertaking for our team. Everything you've seen on the videos that I shared with you are pretty much like our alpha version of it. Obviously, that'll be really streamlined and refined and tuned into like our existing UI in a really organic way once it launches. But where it is now is like strictly functional. But yeah, it's something that just takes a huge lift logistically to code and get programmed in there and set up. And we've been at this for the better part of a year now, getting everything under figured out as much as possible.
Yeah, Philip, I don't know if you saw that in the video where like you drag and drop, and it wasn't just a like solid color like you were talking about. Like there's shades going on here on like this water elemental here, where it's not just like, oh, a solid blue, like, yeah, like they drop one color and then drop another color, and then there's like a gradient kind of going on, and it looks like almost like a copy and paste sort of to take that kind of pattern and move it around.
Yeah, so like, yeah, you can do like the full-on like recess shading and highlights and various different, you know, color gradients and that sort of stuff. You can also save and store things in a color library that lets you then access that and apply it to different parts or to different miniatures. Just, just giving you the full toolbox and repertoire of painting, capabilities that you would want from something like this. So we really strove to go above and beyond on it and make it something that gives you every conceivable thing, whether you're a beginner or whether you're a pro painter and you want to, plan out a full color scheme, or you actually want to like build and print a, just completely perfect tabletop ready mini.
Nice. Let's see. Yeah, we got, and here you can actually see this picture. Oh, there we go. This picture here, we've got actually, I'm trying to get a good zoom, but it's not wanting to pan very well. you can actually see the printed version. So like what you've got here is you've got the designed version, and then you've got the printed version here. And I saw these at Gen Con, Philip, and yeah, it's pretty spectacular. Like,
Chris, you remember Lil Phil?
yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, but that was filament printed, if I remember right.
Oh, I don't remember how that was some sort of weird.
Oh, that was. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they 3D scanned me, but then they
Like here, like all the teeth are completely different, and they've got shading around the teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is so much more in depth.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, the technical or the engineer in me is just like, I don't even know how that's possible. Like, granted, I only have a vague understanding of how like resin 3D printing works, but I'm just like, I don't even know how you would do that on a resin 3D printer.
Yeah, the whole polyjet process is really, really unique and interesting. We're gonna have a sort of in the works video of it as part of our Kickstarter video that shows like the actual process being done, like and filmed. But it's I don't even know how to describe how it works because I'm not that technical myself, but it is really revolutionary for the 3D printing industry. I can't wait to see this like expand into like the actual like consumer marketplace as well.
Now, once you get the process set up, granted there's going to be a learning curve and everything. What are you expecting as far as turnaround time between I've made my mini, I've hit print? How many weeks or so until between when I pay for the mini, when does it arrive at my door?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Our current ship time for resin 3D or for current gray resin miniatures is 2 to 3 weeks. We're expecting probably 3 to 4 weeks for the color, just because it's a slightly slower process to make, and we expect to have a lot of orders and quite a queue lined up once we start offering those. But that shouldn't be too bad, just because that our current wait time is already 2 to 3 weeks. So 3 to 4 weeks is not a whole lot longer, but yeah, that's probably about what we're expecting. We don't know if that'll be the exact case yet, but that is sort of what we're planning on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just looking for an idea at least. Granted, there's going to be a lot of hiccups and bumps along the way. So yeah, like I see, there's some other one like here we've got kind of like a guard, Roman gladiator in here. And then let's see. Oh, there was one I wanted to ask you about. It was this. So I've got the picture here. It's got two different, but I was trying to. It looks like there's some small color differences. But I was trying to say it's the same model. Well, it looked like the hair was almost looked like the contrast was different on this one here. I was wondering if that was intended or not.
I don't have access to your videos, so I cannot see what you're...
Did I not turn on the...
Nope, you didn't.
I did not. There we go. That always...
Oh, yeah. So that is... it's slightly different. It just shows kind of a difference in hues and contrasts and styles that you can get. You can see the one on the left is a little brighter highlighted. We raised the tones on the hair color. Obviously, we raised the tones on the icicles. It just shows a little bit of a different gradient than the darker toned version, but you can see that there are clear differences in the way that the printing kind of resolves those.
Right.
So we wanted to just show a few different captures of just variations between the same print for comparison's sake.
Gotcha. So, yeah. So it like you said, there's just a whole different scale than just, the dragon is red. Well, it's like, okay, what kind of red?
Right. And once we get the Kickstarter underway and people start exploring the tool and stuff, we're probably going to start offering sort of like a pro tips kind of solution on our website or on our blog or social media. That's just like kind of, like a really clear one with that dragon head especially is like if you push the highlights a little bit further than you would normally, it creates it just stands out a little bit more vibrantly when you actually get the finished print, as opposed to like just kind of keeping it dark. So kind of like highlights on tabletop ready miniatures, when you're painting your own stuff, you want to kind of push it further than you think you might want to at first.
Right. Yeah. Then another comparison, we showed off the video of the water elemental. Well, this is the printed version of that water elemental.
Yeah, and that is probably my favorite print we've done to date.
I
You can
I
just
agree.
see
I
that
think it is.
you just get such an amazing blue gradient in there. The metal comes through really well on the breastplate, but also the water effects just look so fluid and realistic, and you get just such a cool gradient between the darks and the lights and the highlight. And even the base ties into that with the way it sort of rises up from dark to light. I love that model so much.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's got a very marbly looking effect on the base here, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's wild the amount of different things you can produce with this technology, and the differences in your sculpts, like how they kind of come together, and how what kind of colors you're using and choosing, that can really change how the final result plays out.
Now I saw on one of the videos. What are you targeting as far as like a price point? So I think before it was like, to get the gray, I want to say, granted this is my info is a little out of date. It was like $30 if I remember right to get it just printed, grayscale.
At Gen Con, we were charging a little more because it was that overnight aspect.
Right.
Our current price point is $25 for a standard 3D printed miniature. That's like your standard 32 millimeter scale, gray, human-sized model. It goes up and down, obviously, depending on a few different adjustments you make, or whether or not it's mounted, or whether or not it has epic effects applied to the base and that sort of thing. For the color printing models, we're looking at probably around $35 to $40 for the color printed miniatures, while the much larger double-sized XL miniatures, which are like closer to 54 millimeter scale, are probably going to be close to 100 because they require just so much more pigment and resin to produce.
Is this more the XL size here, or is this still the 32?
No, that would be one of the epic heroic pros ones, which in resin would be, I think, 35. Right, and now so in color that'd probably be about 45, 50.
Right. Yeah. So I guess there's a big difference between I was trying to find just your basic hero. Like, Philip, you remember what your hero looked like, and then you get these much more epic poses like you were talking about. But, I mean, and if anybody that wants to bark at paying, like $45 for a mini, Games Workshop would like to talk to you.
That's our thinking, too.
This is a pre-assembled, painted miniature, custom miniature, for about the same price as like one Warhammer figure, unassembled and unpainted.
Unassembled, unpainted, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a difference there, and this is like the kind of miniature you're going to have either on display on your desk and just like it's going to be like your centerpiece, or it's going to be a really cool hero for your next RPG campaign, or just like an epic hero to lead like your wargaming army. So it's a singular piece, and it's it's very bespoke, which is a big thing. Right.
Yeah, and that's one thing. Like, something I was thinking about with this is, the obvious use case for this is RPGs, but especially with as many miniature agnostic games that there are, like war games that you have out there, where you go on like Wargaming Vault, and it's just people that design rules. And it's like play with whatever like I got Stargrave around here somewhere, where it's or Frostgrave. It's like, hey, just create a wizard and a bunch of minions and go, and here you go. You can custom design, put yourself into a game by designing like, oh, I'm gonna be my necromancer or my wizard or barbarian or whatever, and then boom. Have them printed out. You could do the color, or like if you've got access to the resin printer, then a couple bucks. I think one thing I had seen this past time when I made it is you now have like a subscription where it's just like you can just print or you could just make as many minis as you want for, was it like 15 a month or something like that? Oh, I think you muted your mic.
Subscription.
Oh, there you go.
We offer it in 1 month, 3 month, or 1 month. I think it's 1 month, 3 month, and year-long subscriptions. Year-long pans out to just $10 a month, but it's unlimited 3D printing, unlimited STL downloads, so you can build and design to your heart's content and print those miniatures out and at home. And if you're, a dungeon master, that's awesome to have a full-on army of NPCs or mobs that you want to throw at your players. If you're a wargamer, like you said, those mini agnostic games are just amazing. We offer so many different components for not just fantasy, but sci-fi, steampunk, historical. You could run, Stargrave. You could run Frostgrave. You could, design something unique for one-page rules that for an army for one of those things. There are just so many different systems out there that if you have a 3D printer at home or access to one or a friend who has one, sign up for Eldritch Unlimited. It lets you get, as many STLs as you want a month to print out for your entire wargaming army if you want.
Yeah, Philip, I just came up with the most evil idea ever.
Okay.
So you run a D&D game in which you have to like save a bunch of humans that have been enthralled by, like something, and you make your players as the enthralled humans. So then like you print them out and have them on the table, and then so like their heroes are having to fight themselves.
Oh, I love it.
How about Snap? Host for 40K, I don't think Snap Ships is going to be in there. That's a little bit different.
Yeah, right now most of our stuff is limited to humans, fantasy races, aliens, monsters, robots, that sort of stuff. Not quite into the giant robots or spaceships yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
That was a yet.
Yeah.
There's always a possibility, for sure.
Awesome. So yeah, you said this is. I'm trying to remember. Trying to think if there was any. Oh, I know what I need to mention. Also, I put it in the show notes because I don't remember the code off the top of my head. But if you look down in the show notes of this episode, there is actually a code where you can get $10 added to your account and get your own STLs just for listening to this episode. Philip, have you got the YouTube page up?
I do. I'm looking in the...
It's right below the first paragraph.
Eldritch Foundry Boards and Swords 2024, EFBS 2024.
EFBS 0, what was it? 2024?
2024.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, that'll get enough, or $10 on there. You can get pretty much 2 STLs. Or that's almost a month of unlimited right there.
There you go.
Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. And you guys, oh man, I'm just looking down here because it's like, I've only been really using this for fantasy games, but now I'm saying like, I want this.
Oh yeah, the Doc Ock right there.
The Doc Ock with
awesome.
the Gatling gun.
Yeah, that's actually one of our newest releases. We just released those mech tentacles and heavy weapons as well in the last couple months here. We're adding new components, new ancestries, new armor and weapons. Pretty much every month we go along here. And of course the Kickstarter is going to be launching hopefully October 22nd. If all things continue on pace and as we're currently on track for. So that's
there's a cat.
Our next big thing.
Philip, there's a cat.
There's a cat.
There's a cat on this witch base.
Uh-oh.
All my D&D characters are going to have a cat base now. Like, can we just retcon that this was my Warforged?
Your Warforged instead of the squirrel is a cat.
No, I was talking about the Doc Ock arms.
Oh, the Doc. Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh man, I gotta see some of these. So yeah, so this just says that you guys are constantly putting out. So that's a good question. When y'all put out, do you make a design and then just make those assets available, or is it more of just you add the assets and then these are just examples of what you can do with them?
Usually the latter. So
Okay.
we usually have new assets in the works all the time. And then when we release those assets onto our builder, we show off new releases with just showcasing them as much as we can.
Gotcha. So if you're, say you're coming up, but you're just trying to come up with an adventure and you don't want to take the time to make custom design, you got to make like a dungeon full of like 15 different monsters. You don't want to custom design
We
each.
have pre-made stuff.
That's
We
what,
have
yeah. So
pre-made,
you can just
SMLs.
like, oop, boop, boop, boop. I'm just going to go through and print this one, this one, this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that necromancer.
Yeah, so if you were to try it out on any of those, it just preloads the exact build that's ready to go.
Oh, gotcha.
And you can just add it to your cart and check out with that, yeah. Or you can just modify it however you want.
Is that called Dan?
Oh, which one?
The necromancer. Like,
Oh,
all
it
that
does
stuff
look like
in the
Gul'dan.
background. Oh, he's in a chair. Okay.
He's in a chair. Yeah. He's not
Yeah,
hobbled
okay.
over.
I clicked on the Doc Ock one.
Yeah.
This is interesting. It's free floating.
Really?
One of the
Oh, I see it. So the arms are holding it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
see
not
it now.
connected to- That is wicked.
That is so cool. Yeah, and
I'm just clicking through the options how to
my-
manipulate them.
my do not base their loading times on my computer, because once we start streaming and stuff, my loading goes way down. Ooh, here's another one, Philip. Another free floating. This Valkyrie, with the wings are holding up. And
Oh, it's a hip. For a second, I thought that was a Jar Jar Binks
yeah.
with a minigun.
Philip, I need you to be a hippo. I need you to be a hippo in your next game with a giant minigun.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh. Here you go. You can be demons in 40K. All you got to do, $15, and you can print yourself a demon army for 40K.
Nice.
That's the cheapest 40K army you're ever going to find. Ooh. Look at this Techno Magnus. Or Magus.
This was I mean, because we only used Eldritch Foundry, we didn't use the other guys. But I did appreciate the, so like on my character, when it was like, cool, add one of these little side pouches to the belt,
Yeah.
and it was aligned to some random line that I didn't change the alignment of, and it was like, okay, cool, I can take it and twist it back into looking like a proper. It's actually hanging from my belt and not coming out of my kidney.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always the weird thing. Like, so a couple years ago, WizKids decided to do, it was like shape. It was basically, because they do the official D&D minis, but you could get them on a sprue and like custom build your own mini. Like oh, this guy's got this sword and he's got these bags and whatever, and it was such a pain in the ass.
Oh, the frameworks.
Frameworks, yes. I was trying. I wanted to say shapeworks, but yeah, frameworks. Were like in little tiny bags. Me trying to like use my sausage fingers to try and like glue those things on there. I was like, nope. And it was like, I want to say it was like $30, $15 to $30, and I was like, why would you do this when there was like sites like this? It's like $5. I can make it exactly the way I want it. I don't have to assemble it and then, print it out. And yeah, I also, the poses, I think we all had a laugh. Philip was messing with the, you know exactly where I'm going with this.
The 30 plus.
The 30 plus pose. And he was posting it in our D&D chat.
That's right.
Because all of us are above 30, so we saw that, and he was posting that up there, and we all had a nice laugh out of that.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Yeah.
Now I'm assuming like poses like this Techno Magus, those are more of the XL types, just judging by the content on here.
Well, you click on it, it'll tell you. So the tentacle with the minigun, he's a mounted miniature.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one I believe is a heroic pose. XL is literally any miniature double sized.
Oh,
so
okay.
It could be of any type. It
Gotcha.
doesn't. Yeah.
So did you guys make your own? I'm seeing an adventures category on here.
Yeah, we partnered with Bound by Blood and then Winter's Mercy, I think it was called, or Grateful Gathering.
Yes.
Was another one. So we've got a couple different 5e compatible adventures, as well as STL packs for those, which give you a whole slew of NPCs, heroes, and monsters to fight or to use in a campaign. And those were written by some professional rules writers. I do not have the names off the top of my head. It was
Right.
before my time with Eldritch Foundry, but they're both very cool, downloadable adventures that are just kind of self-contained modules for people to check out and get into. We're going to be doing a promotion later this month for the Halloween one, or the undead themed one, Bound by Blood, for Halloween. And then we'll probably bring back Winter's Mercy with some new stuff and some interesting promos come like December or November.
Gotcha. So do the STL file, are they just straight up STL files, or each one also links into the Eldritch Foundry engine?
They were all built in the Eldritch Foundry engine, but they are all just straight up
Gotcha.
downloaded STL files.
I like the artwork here. Like this reminds me of Darth Revan, Philip.
Uh-huh.
Just that
Yep.
mask. It's like, I have a present for you. Awesome. So where do people need to keep in touch to get notified when the Kickstarter goes live?
Obviously, signing up for our Kickstarter page is a big help. The link is on our very homepage for the website. Following us on social media or signing up for our mailing list is also ideal. Once the Kickstarter goes live, that will direct straight to our actual campaign.
Awesome. Is there anything else that we may have missed talking about the colors or any other? Is there anything else along with the color? Or is it mainly Kickstarter just focused on the upgrading to color?
Yeah, so it's almost entirely the upgrade to the color engine, as well as the PolyJet 3D printing, which brings that full color to physical, form. Those are kind of hand in hand. There are a lot of different stretch goals to add more and more functionality to our builder and to the color engine itself, as well as some really cool ones if we make it as far as we hope to. For like a branded paint set with the Army Painter, for a collaboration with Siege Studios for professionally painted miniatures for that players can, order, and a few other surprises like that, which we're really excited for.
Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you for coming on the show and telling us about this, and for the code so that people can take advantage of that. I know I'm definitely going to. Custom minis is always great. So, anything else as far as keeping in touch, finding out more about Eldritch Foundry? You guys was Eldritch Foundry on all the social medias?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we have a Discord. So follow us on social media, join our Discord if you want to engage with the community, show off your own Eldritch Foundry custom miniatures painted and done to your liking. Follow the Kickstarter. Check us out online. Anything you can do helps for this Kickstarter. We are very excited to be bringing it to life, and thank you guys for having me.
Awesome. Glad we were able to make it work out. All right, Philip, I think that's a good show tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and get us started here.
That's going to be our show. Once again, we want to thank Sam from Eldritch Foundry for hopping in, putting up with our shenanigans. If you like what you see, you got to check out boardsandSwords.com/live. It's got the link to the streaming channel plus the schedule, and also just Boards and Swords itself. We got everything we've done in the past and some random stuff we might do in the future.
All right, send us feedback. Let us know. Are you even interested in these things? I mean, I get people on the show that I'm in stuff I'm interested in. But what are you interested in? Let me know. Facebook at Boards and Swords Pod, Instagram at Boards and Swords Chris, or on Twitter at Boards and Swords. Feedback at boardsandswords.com. One of these days I'll get all those aligned. But boardsandswords.com for links to everything, like our Patreon. Check it out. Help support the show. We're going to do this We're Back in a Week thing, but this time we don't have a guest. Next time, we're gonna kind of do a news and reviews catch up. We've kind of been doing this like 2-week bump kind of thing, or week off. So we've got like 3 weeks worth of news potentially, especially after Essen, to get on. So we're gonna do a little bit of review catch up. Philip actually played a board game at his mancation, so you're gonna hear Philip review a game. How often do you hear that? But you're gonna only hear it next week. So in the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and this one's in color.